Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. A group of representative members of the OECS region have met for the first day of discussions. From the 5th to the 7th of December, the group will be exploring the benefits and potential of geothermal energy. A major gathering of regional and global geothermal experts has convened in St. Lucia to chart the way forward to transform the energy landscape of the OECS to deliver lower energy prices and reduce the costly dependence on imported fossil fuels. The forum has been dubbed the Regional Geothermal Roundtable Dialogue. Like most small island developing states, the countries of the OECS spend a large part of their earnings on imported fossil fuels to meet their energy needs, yet they also boast high levels of geothermal potential.
Geothermal energy has really emerged as a priority for the region. We have 7 countries currently pursuing geothermal energy, and we have brought them together to discuss some of the critical issues affecting geothermal energy and to seek to strategize on how we can find solutions to collaborate on addressing the challenges and the needs and gaps that we face with respect to geothermal energy.
Though geothermal energy is a more involved and more expensive undertaking than other renewables, its significant benefits make it an ideal way for the Eastern Caribbean to gain greater energy independence. Energy represents a significant cost to households, businesses, and states.
We have already brought together a wide stakeholder group consisting of government officials, utilities, regulatory commissions, academia, private sector developers, to look to see how we can really advance geothermal energy in the region, because we see geothermal energy as a very viable option for us. It helps for us to stabilize our energy prices, and we see it as also providing some resilience in the face of climate change that we are currently facing.
The OECS Geothermal Energy Roundtable seeks to catalyze the move to closer collaboration on geothermal energy within a regional framework. The discussions will focus on the status of the OECS geothermal projects and the opportunities and underlying risk, with a view to highlighting mitigation and also financing options. A clarion call is being made for greater police presence in the city during this festive season. The president of the Police Welfare Association, Travis Chico, believes that greater visibility of officers will deter criminal elements. Solange Alfred reports.
A call for safer streets, communities, and neighborhoods is being echoed throughout St. Lucia, now more than ever as Christmas quickly approaches. While citizens look to increase the level of shopping, there remains great concern for safety and security with the rise of criminal activity. Speaking with President of the Police Welfare Association, Travis Chico, he believes that to curtail the level of crime on island, there needs to be an increase in the visibility of law enforcement officials throughout the entire island.
The Welfare Association continues to sound its voice on crime, and we believe that at this point in time, in the season, the festive season, there should be no tolerance to crime. Persons should not keep the lives of our law-abiding citizens miserable at this point in time by trying to rob them or committing acts of violence against them. So the Welfare Association believes now that the police force now needs to come up with a serious strategic plan in dealing with the issues at hand. The plan is to bring more men on the road, make the police uniform a lot more visible, and these are one of the few things that we could do in the city of Castries and also Vieux-Fort and also the outskirts, that the police should well become extremely visible.
Chico holds strong to the belief that the Royal St. Lucia Police Force should do everything in its capacity to ensure that honest members of society can have a festive season free of crime and violence.
There must be a serious message sent to the criminals at this point that it should not be a joke. And the police should do all within their powers to stop them. Every single thing that they can at this point in time to ensure that St. Lucians have a joyous and a Merry Christmas 2018.
The issue of derailing criminal elements amidst the Christmas season remains a hot-button issue that many have lent their voices to, and citizens are reminded to stay safe throughout the season of giving. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
Computer coding workshops will be held on island. The goals of these workshops are to stimulate more student interest in science and engineering careers, especially computer science, and to help prepare students for university study in STEM disciplines in general. In addition, the workshops are intended to help increase the low numbers of skilled ICT workers in the region and to encourage the formation of more globally competitive ICT companies. Adjunct Program Manager of the Caribbean Science Foundation, Gillian Hassel, says the first of multiple workshops in St. Lucia will take place every Saturday from 9 to 12 p.m. from the 12th of January to the 30th of March 2019 at the Castries Comprehensive Secondary School. It will culminate in a public showcase by the participants on the 30th of March 2019.
It's quite a long commitment. It's 12 weeks. So we're requiring that the participants are committed to this initiative. But we expect that when we're finished with that they will be able to offer themselves up to industry, to either design websites or to create mobile apps that will be of benefit to the country.
Professor Cardinal Ward, who is the Interim Executive Director of the CSF, says the foundation is excited to assist St. Lucia with the diversification of its economy by harnessing science and technology for economic development, thereby helping to raise its standard of living.
The goal is to take the brightest in the Caribbean and help them to prepare to go to the university of their choice. And we encourage them to stay in science and engineering because engineers create more jobs than doctors and lawyers, which is where most of our bright young people go. And we think that to build this economic pillar, to start building this new economic pillar for the region, we have to also encourage more technology companies to come into the region and also encourage our people to become entrepreneurs, some of them who have that in their game.
The Education Minister has thrown her support behind the initiative.
So there's really marrying all the fancy stuff about robotics, science, e-skills, digital competencies, all with a view to exciting our students when it comes to technology and leveraging technology not only for recreational purposes but also to enhance their employability, and that is why I'm particularly happy with this initiative.
Applicants for the program must be Caribbean citizens over the age of 15 years, out of school and at-risk youth, also individuals with disabilities, females, and science and mathematics teachers are especially encouraged to apply by visiting the website caribbeanscience.org. The National Council for Persons with Disabilities is raising hell over a situation involving one of their own. The president of the council says it is very worrisome that in a time when society should be more inclusive of persons with disabilities, an educational institution would be the place where exclusion would occur. We have more in this report by Nisha Charles.
The National Council for Persons with Disabilities has been following a situation at one of the infant schools in the city. It involves a student who is wheelchair-bound and was promoted to a classroom above ground. The school in question, however, does not provide wheelchair access and, according to the president of the council, has not made the necessary adjustments to accommodate the student. Murphylas James says the situation is troubling.
This was a situation which was foreseeable and where a principal could internally, without any external influence, take the decision to relocate this class to the ground floor to make it easier for this child. It troubles our council greatly that an educator, that a manager of a school, someone who is trained to mold and cultivate young minds, has refused to take this step. So what has been happening for an entire term is that this child has to be carried up and down steps by her mother, and who returns during the break to tend to her. If her mother is not there and any activity is taking place on the ground floor during school hours, this child is left in class and cannot participate.
James revealed that the council has been patient while ministry officials meet to make recommendations, but its patience has come to an end. The president of the council gave notice to the institution that if the situation is not rectified by the new school term, it would be ramping up its advocacy efforts.
Right here we have the Castries Comprehensive School, which went through great efforts to build a wheelchair ramp to ensure access to higher classes to a student of theirs. So when we have one school outside of our city teaching its students about empowerment and inclusion and to be their brothers and sisters' keeper, we have an institution which is at an even more vulnerable level, an infant institution, where a principal is disadvantaging a student and her caregiver in this way. This is unacceptable. And issues like this ring home the need for our government to ratify the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. St. Lucia is surrounded by our island neighbors who have already ratified this convention, which signals to the international community that we are serious about upholding the rights of persons with disabilities.
St. Lucia joined the rest of the world in celebrating International Day for Persons with Disabilities on December 3. For the Hot 7 News, Nisha Charles reporting.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News. Do stay with us. We have more coming up after the break.